Chapter 6. The winter snow came and went. Now it was the lovely spring and the sun was shining brightly. It was May 8th, and the carnival was in town, so it was all the villagers talked about. It ran all weekend beginning yesterday on Friday, but it rained then. Nate was super excited and knew he was going to have a lot of fun with Aalliyah there, especially because she admitted she hadn't gone to one since she was a child. Jeramie, too, loved the carnival, and typically he and Nate would do everything together, but he knew this year it wouldn't be the case. Jeramie didn't mind, though. He liked watching the lovebirds and their relationship grow. When the three arrived, Aalliyah glanced every way, taking in all the blinking lights and the loud noises coming from the rides and games. Children were running about, laughing and playing. A few were skipping about, eating cotton candy. Groups of friends clustered about, talking and welcoming the chance to see each other. It was hard to believe it was all set up in a little park in their town that was always so quiet, but now so lively. Nate clasped his hand in Aalliyah's. Slowly the three walked around the circle to see all there was first, before making the decision whether to go on the rides, play the games, or alternate between the two. First they chose to play the water race game. A few of their other friends decided to join in. They all carefully took their aim with the water gun and aimed it at the target. The bell sounded and they fired the water through the air. Higher and higher the platforms rose until the one bell rang. Aalliyah smiled proudly, seeing it was her librarian friend that won. Then the two groups of friends went their opposite ways. Nate saw the test your strength meter and smirked at Jeramie as if challenging him. Jeramie nodded, accepting the challenge. Nate welcomed Jeramie to go first. Jeramie lifted the mallet and looked at the base and then at the bell at the top. Carefully he took his aim. Nate side-eyed Aalliyah with a mischievous glint. His best friend started his swing, and he fake-sneezed loudly, startling his friend and making him miss his aim, barely tapping the rim. Aalliyah covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. Jeramie took a deep breath and repositioned himself for the second try. As he prepared to launch it, Nate cried, "There's a snake behind you!" Jeramie jumped to the mallet, fell from his hand, tapping the edge of the target and landing on his foot. "Same foot, Nate," he huffed playfully as the same thing had occurred last year. "Seriously?" laughed Nate. "Yes. Are you all right?" sincerely asked Aalliyah. "Oh, yes, he pulls these shenanigans every year. I think he's scared that I will show him I am stronger than he is." Jeramie picked up the mallet for his final try, but he held Nate's eyes. "Behave," he warned. Nate stood there perfectly still and allowed Jeramie an uninterrupted attempt. The metal glider slid up and tinged the bell. Nate then took over and with no distractions rang it 3 times. Playfully he stuck out his tongue at his friend. He chose his prize as a soft purple dragon. He handed it to Aalliyah and declared, "It's for you. I know you like the color purple, even though green is your first choice. Plus, dragons represent strength and wisdom, and you have both." "I thought they also symbolized hidden knowledge and chaos," she proposed. "That is true as well, Miss Librarian." She grinned. She always loved when her knowledge of books paid off. The 3 of them then went on the alien spaceship ride, and it spun them around and around until it pinned them to the walls. They watched amused as some of the kids climbed upside down. Slowly it spun less, and they could move again more freely. They went on a few more rides, but paused to eat dinner then. They walked over to the pavilion away from the loud carnival and rested there for a bit. When they finished eating, they were wearing down and the sun was going down. It was then they decided to go on the final ride of the evening, the Ferris wheel. Of course, Nate and Aalliyah went on the same seat together, and he had his arm wrapped around her. At the very top, he kissed her and let their lips linger for a long moment. After that, the 3 walked off, and they stopped at Aalliyah's home first before returning to theirs. 6 months later, it was November 29th, Nate and Aalliyah's 1-year anniversary. She took off from working in the library, and the 2 spent the entire day together in town. They ate a romantic dinner, and then Nate walked her to his house as part of their plan included a sleepover. They walked in the door. Nate turned the light on and stole a kiss on his girlfriend's cheek. "Where's Jeramie?" Aalliyah questioned, finding it odd he wasn't there. "Oh, he is out of town. He went to take a class on herbal medicine. He does so once in a while to make sure he knows the latest to best help people," Nate explained. "He'll be back late tomorrow morning. I have a gift for you, but only if you are willing to receive it. You are more than welcome to decline it." "What is it?" she thought, wondering why he had such doubts about it. He ran his index finger down her chest and across her abdomen, only pausing at her hips. She understood what he was communicating. Oh. If it's too soon, we don't... She cut him off. It's not too soon. It is the perfect time. Then it clicked. You asked Jeramie not to be here tonight. Yes, but he is taking the time to learn about herbs and methods. She giggled. I love you. Then she planted a kiss on him. He took her hand and led her off to the right where his bedroom was. She sat down on the edge of the bed and he remained standing. He declared, I must warn you, I have no experience in this field. Neither do I. We will learn together, she claimed. If at any point it becomes too much, please tell me. The last thing I want to do is hurt you emotionally or physically. Please tell me if anything isn't right. Nate, she started, taking his hands. Relax. You have no reason to be so nervous. I promise you I'll let you know if I get uncomfortable. For now, though, just live in the moment and don't let your nerves stop you. Gently he laid his hand on her chest and lightly leaned her back until she met the bed, but he didn't take his hand from her chest. You are breathing really heavily. You are anxious. Yes, I told you I'm new to this. All right, then let's rip the Band-Aid off, he said playfully and pulled her shirt off. Lightly he kissed her lips and then her neck. Steadily he moved his lips lower onto her chest. He heard a jagged breath escape her and he hesitated. Don't stop, she urged. Nate unfastened the remaining fabric on her upper body and showered her in more kisses, letting some linger longer than others. Recalling what he had seen in movie scenes, he tried smooching her with his teeth as gently as he could. Aalliyah groaned and hissed. Nate given she didn't tell him to pause, he continued. She slapped his shoulder and begged, Stop biting me, it hurts. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. It's fine, just please be more gentle. I will, he promised, and placed a canoodle on her lips and then went back to her chest. How's this? Better, she sighed, relaxing her tense shoulders. Can I try something? You can try anything. We're both new at this. Experiment all you will, and I'll tell you if I'm uncomfortable or in pain. He overlapped his fingers of each hand on her and clawed at her. She inhaled sharply, and he stopped immediately. Am I hurting you? A bit, but I don't want you to stop. I think I'm so sensitive because I've never been touched before. I will adjust and come to get used to it. Truly, I am cherishing your grasp. You may proceed unless I tell you. He nodded and resumed groping her chest. She sighed lightly, and he tried to stop thinking about it so much. Nate stopped once he saw he had made red marks form on her skin from pinching her skin between his fingers. Not wanting to hurt her more than he might have already, he went back to kissing her. Slowly he went a bit lower, kissing her thin belly, and went even lower until he found the place the sun dare not touch. His lips met the forbidden fortress, and Aalliyah breathed out heavily. Oh, Feather. I'm sorry, he quickly said, and his warm breath caressed her. No, don't be, and don't stop. I promise it's okay. He nodded and continued. Then he felt it was only fair if he shed more of his layers off and dropped them onto the floor. He crawled fully onto the bed and kissed Aaliyah's lips once again and let his chest hover over hers as he let the two of them become tied together. The next day, Nate walked Aalliyah to the library and returned home. There was Jeramie back from his herb studying. How did it go? He asked eagerly with a large grin. It was feathering amazing. I've never lived such a great night before. That is, once I learned how to stop hurting her, but it was fine and fantastic. Jeramie chuckled. Will there be a little you running around here now? Goodness, no. She and I took the steps we could to be very careful that wouldn't happen. We were ready for that level, but we aren't ready for children. Fair enough. Anytime you want the place to yourself, just let me know. I would be happy to assist. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was the early afternoon of December 1st, and the snow was laying heavily all across England. Nate was once more waiting at the library as Aalliyah finished the day. Together they walked back to his home. They cuddled by the warm fire and drank hot chocolate. Just then Aaliyah's phone rang. She glanced at it and saw it was a number she didn't recognize, but it had the area code of London. She answered, Hello? Hi, is this Scarlett? Asked the woman on the phone. Aalliyah was surprised hearing the name she had gone by for years, when now she scarcely heard it. Yes, it's me. What may I do for you? There has been an accident. First responders, including myself, rushed to the scene. I regret to inform you neither Olivia nor Henry made it. There was nothing we could do. They were gone when we arrived. I'm sorry to deliver such news. Aalliyah hung up and let the phone fall from her grasp. Tears ran down her cheeks rapidly, and she shook. Nate pulled her tighter to his chest, having overheard being so close to her. I'm so sorry, honey, he said softly, even though he was well aware his words would bring her no comfort.